Thank you. Rick, talk about the guys getting themselves to the free throw line and connecting on 25 of those today, and also Fulke really coming on his job in the second half.
Well, we have a different team in terms of we do think that we got guys, multiple guys that can drive the ball, and we haven't had a lot of that the past couple of years. But, we play two teams now that for foul trouble reasons have had to go to zone probably more so than what they both want to play. And we haven't had a lot of time to work against a lot of different type zones. But today what we simply said, hey, we're going to attack. We're going to get in there, and we missed some shots that we feel we normally make. We felt like we turned down some shots from the perimeter, and but yet we talk about a lot. We want our team to have an identity of rebounding, and that means getting a good shot up on the glass and going to get it and try to get multiple shots at it. And then coming down the stretch, Fulke did do a good job. He wasn't very good early. He wasn't locked in defensively the start of the game, but he blocking out. I took him out early because he didn't block out, and that's something we said we're going to hold everybody accountable. You're going to block out. We're going to rebound the ball, and we subbed a couple of times a day for guys that were going the other way before we had the ball, but he did answer coming down the stretch. We knew, again, I think our guys understand what we're trying to do at the end of the game in the last two games, and we're able to make the free throws. And we still have to do we did a good job taking care of the ball, but there's a couple of them that we gave them that turned into pick sixes, and there's nothing we can do with that. And you take away 3 or 4 plays defensively where we gambled in the backcourt, let them go all the way, and those turnovers. Overall, I would say that we were pretty good defensively, and again, we played hard defensively without fouling.
We'll go to Mike Wilson and then Grant Ramey.
Yeah, Rick, what did you think of the team's rebounding tonight? I know you said you weren't so happy with that in the opener, and then what did you like from Josiah kind of midway through the second half with some rebounding and defensive stops?
Well, he's good at it, and he's made a conscious effort to do that. I thought E.J. Anasicki came in the game and gave us some of that, where he came back and again, he kept the ball alive. I mean, he really did a good job with it, and we want to get Olivier doing that. We want to get that, and once we're able to get each guy going, and maybe you can add by getting Urosh to where they understand the roles that they have to play. And you think about our front line, we got 3 guys that come off the bench. That's their number one job, is to take rebounding to a different level. And Eve today, again, I thought Eve did a nice job making some fix-it plays. He had, I don't know, I'm trying to look at his iPad. I think he had a couple blocks today, didn't he? Eve? Yeah, where he cleaned up a few plays there. But overall, it was a good defensive effort. And but again, the guards have to rebound. We're going to be most lethal in transition when our guards come down and rebound, and that dribble outlet's really hard to guard and pass ahead. When we get things going, that's when we're really at our best, when our guards are rebounding.
Rick, what went into Keon and Jaden having a bigger, I guess, opportunity early in the game, more minutes tonight versus what they did against Colorado?
Just us playing. Like I said, the other night was the first time we've had our bench together, and a couple things. We didn't want to put them in a situation right off the bat to where we could lose them confidence, and but as a coaching staff, we're still trying to fight through this ourselves without an exhibition games. And up to this point, we've played 2 games, and we just made up our mind we were going to go early because last game we might, and it was me. I'm in charge of those subs. We waited maybe a little bit too long. One thing about you get a run like we had the other night against Colorado, the key is can you sustain it when you get to the bench, and I think we waited too long because tonight we did the multiple substitution where we put both those guys in at one time, and it's going to help all of them. We can keep those minutes down around 25, 26 for everybody, and everybody can be productive in those minutes. It's going to help everybody. But granted, it was just a matter of still us trying to figure it out ourselves as a coaching staff, the best way to get some kind of rotation going. And it might mean changing the lineup in the future, starting a different way and see if we get guys coming off the bench playing a different role. Like I think one of the key positions is that 6th and 7th guy coming off the bench, that first line perimeter guy coming in, and that first line on the front line, that first sub. Those guys, the 6th and 7th guys are really important that they come in and take it to another level. not maintain it, but see if they can take it to another level. I thought EJ did that tonight defensively. I thought his energy and his burst helped us. And when the two young guys came in, they did a good job.
Nicholas Hill, then Rob Lewis.
All right, Coach. What is something in the second game that you think that you guys really improved on from the first game? Like, what's just one thing that you thought was the most improved from Colorado Tuesday night to Cincinnati today?
Well, rebounding certainly was one of them, but the other one was taking care of the ball. We only had 11 turnovers, I think, if I'm looking at this right. Is that
Correct,
right, Tom?
11
turnovers, but they were critical. Josiah had 3 of them, and I told him he's played, and he did a lot of really good things. I mean, he did a lot of really good things, but he's a guy that I think should never turn it over. And we held the ball too long a couple of times in their double teams, but the fact that we rebounded better, we got our turnovers down, and but tonight they got more off those turnovers than Colorado got the other night. When we look at it, our turnovers tonight led to some really easy. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm sure they had transition points outscored us because of those turnovers, and there's no defense for it. I don't know what did they get transition wise. Those are all really off turnovers.
14 fast break points.
14, and those are ones we can't give up.
Coach, just, how pleased were you with the way your guys responded late in a tight game? I mean, Cincinnati scored 3 points in the last 6 minutes. What can your team take away from getting it done with defense like that?
You froze up there on us, Rob. Can you repeat that?
Defensively, your guys just locked down late. How happy were you to see that? Cincinnati scored 3 points in the final 6 minutes. What can a young team learn from winning like that?
Well, again, I told him, I said, hey, tonight has proven to you guys, because we're a better shooting team than we shot tonight. I said, there's nights that we don't shoot it. We still have a chance to win it. We will play that kind of defense without fouling. We'll be aggressive, getting to the free throw line, those type things. But, 2 games in a row now, Rob, coming down the stretch, we have defended very well. We really have. And on the other end, offensively, for the most part, we've executed. We've played through the person we need to play through. We've made some, good plays there. Got the ball to the right people at the end of the game that's going to get fouled. And but I think 2 games in a row, our defense has been stellar in terms of getting the kind of stops we need. We want to get those stops, 3, 4 consecutive stops at the end. But if you can do it without fouling, it's obviously is what you want to do. Knowing that they're being aggressive, you're trying to work hard, not giving up those straight line drives, and yet you don't want to give up the 1-pass threes. And they do good stuff. I mean, the 2 teams that we play run really good offensive sets and different things they do, and they put a bind on your defense.
Wes Rucker, then Mike Wilson.
Rick, would you be more concerned if the team, wasn't getting good shots right now? I mean, does it make it a little bit less of a long-term concern, that the fact that maybe they are getting good looks and some of them just aren't going down?
Yeah, you know what? I will tell you. Now, we turn down shots, and you ask anybody in that locker room that I'm upset with guys when they don't take open shots, because again, I think we can rebound the ball. I don't want guys like the other night. We got hesitant, turned down shots. We showed them that. We got to shoot it. And again, those shots, they're I mean, we missed some that that you got to make, like you started the second half. We were missing some, but we didn't. Fulke's too, the start of the second half weren't great balanced shots where they went down and made a couple layups. I think they scored 3 straight layups coming out at halftime. We missed 3 or 4 of them, but the fact is, I do know this, that we cannot turn down open shots. We spend too much time. These guys spend too much time in the gym working on shooting to be hesitant. And but some of that, I think you got to give credit to Colorado and Cincinnati, because they've gone zone against us. And like I said, because of the stops and starts, there's a lot of things. Like, we have spent a total of maybe 15 minutes working against a 1-3-1. We had spent more time prior to our stoppage against the 2-3. And the other night we had looks at the basket. We were maybe not in the space we wanted, but we didn't force one shot the other night against the 2-3. We didn't make any of them. But today, I just like the fact that these guys were driving the ball hard, and they weren't, again, we had some looks. We didn't make them, but we're going to make shots. I'm happy that I told him. It just proves that we don't have to shoot the ball well to win basketball games because, again, we've played well against we've won 2 games against 2 really good basketball teams and not had great shooting nights.
Rick, what's the timeline for Corey Walker and Drew Pember? And if not for the NCAA kind of making this a free year, would those have been guys that maybe you would have considered redshirting this season?
Yeah, both of them would be guys that we would have probably put in that category, but we've never decided on who we're going to redshirt until the season gets going, really. But with this year, I don't know we'll decide any of that because who knows what happens with the COVID. I mean, we've got to show up and play with 7, 8 guys. I don't know what the rule they finally passed. 7, and so we got to have everybody ready. Like you said, it's a free year, and but both of those guys are. I think they are totally today. I think they're totally cleared from with the protocol.
We'll finish up with Gustavo and then Ryan Shumpert.
Rick, the finish of the second half was very strong. You had a 8-0 run in the middle of the second half and a 6-0 run by the last minute and a half. How, pleased you are for the finish strong your team had tonight?
Well, I like to think that we can do that because we've got enough experience. Enough guys have been in some high-level games in the last couple of years, and certainly Eve and Folky's been there a lot, and Josiah played a lot of minutes. Santi got a lot coming down the stretch. I think the real key is, again, as we continue to figure this rotation out, I think every guy's going to benefit by playing 26, 27, 28 minutes, somewhere in there. And if you do that, now you expect to finish strong. You expect to be able to have the energy at the end of the game. When you're playing 34 to 32 to 36 minutes, it's hard at the end of the game. And a lot of that you get done with emotion. But the fact is, if we can keep these minutes where we need to keep them, I would expect us to be a strong team on both ends physically to where we're able to defend, rebound, run, and hope we can break it loose and during those runs you mentioned, that was all created by defense. And I think we brought the energy there, and we're going to have to be able to do it. And we got a chance to be really an outstanding defensive team if we can just manage these numbers the right way and minutes the right way.
You referenced it a bit a second ago, but how much do you feel like teams mixing defenses against you in the first 2 games has kept y'all from getting into an offensive rhythm, especially with, like you said, all the stop and start so far this season?
It has. I don't think there's any question that the rhythm of the game where, tonight they would, maybe on a make go man miss goes on or vice versa, and and people are going to try to keep you off rhythm, but we're going to learn from it. We've had to learn it where it counts with the lights on. But yeah, I do think a little bit of the rhythm gotten broken, but we got one set that we know you can run it against anything, and it's predicated on guys just simply making plays. And at halftime, the coaches were talking about it, what we need to do. I said to them, I just like the fact that I want those guys to be aggressive. I want them to get into those gaps and let them make plays. And because we don't have anybody, no one on our team is selfish. No one, and guys are going to make the right plays and try to do the right things. But you think about, like we missed some shots that I truly believe that we're going to make at a high percentage over time. But the rhythm has been broken the last couple of games, so something we can learn from.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.
Guys, we're going to be joined